All right, welcome back to the DNA podcast, best
All right,
podcast in
let's
the
just start
world.
it off that I said I fucked up.
Damn it, can I go through the fucking intro first? All right, welcome back to the DNA podcast, the best podcast in the world. Even though we only have 3.5 episodes, there's a reason for that. If you saw the preview, then you would understand why. Hey, it's me. It's King Angel. Um, Currently editing episode 3.5. I just finished saying, if you saw in the preview, you know what dev means. I lost that footage or the audio. I don't have it. So it was basically just dev shit chatting on vegans. So yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to clear that up, just in case there was any confusion, because I didn't upload anything about Dev hate. Dev doesn't hate vegans. Okay, Dev doesn't hate vegans. He just said that vegans need to eat some meat because meat is fire, and then he's gonna mention that later on in the episode, again at the end. But yeah, this is very impromptu. I'm just in the middle of editing. I don't even have a watch on. It's 4 in the morning and I'm tired. But yeah, just wanted to clear that up. As always, I'm your host, King Angel, and I am joined by my co-host and good friend, Mr. Simply Cross Dev.
Yo, what is up, guys?
So, because this is episode 3.5, Dev lost the third episode.
Let me give you a little bit of reason because of it. Alrighty, so I was getting in the middle of editing it over the night when we got done recording, and I was staying up until like 11 or 12ish at night, and dude, I just forgot because I put my screen on like never, where you can't even close your screen, and somehow I closed the app and
it didn't save.
It didn't save, bro. I don't know how iPhone works with GarageBand. All of a sudden, I was just like in the middle of getting through the 10-minute mark of getting it. I was like, shit. And I'll call it a night. Woke up the next morning, try to open up GarageBand. The file's not there, and I was like, oh shit, what happened?
Just up in the air, it disappeared.
It disappeared, man. Fucking GarageBand took a knife and stabbed me in the heart.
I hope you know the chair you're sitting in is creaky as fuck.
Yeah. It sounds like a rocking chair.
Couple of things before we start. This is your episode, correct?
Yes.
We are recording back-to-back episodes today. It's currently 6:08. Let's see how this episode does. I'm also taking a new direction with this particular episode. Usually I'm the voice of, chaos incarnate. I think today I got some feedback from some people close to me. Michael, if you're listening, go fuck yourself. I'm gonna take it a bit more relaxed since this is your episode.
We need to get him on there too.
Michael's my older brother. Yeah, he told me, he was like, why not do an episode where, you're a bit more relaxed? And I was like, you know what, I might do that. So I think for your episodes, I'm gonna be a bit more relaxed, and like for my episodes, I'm gonna be more unhinged. Because I know that for your episodes, they talk about, deeper topics. So I think for the deeper topics, I'm just gonna, be a little bit more reserved for this episode. So without further ado, you wanna take it away? What you got for me?
All right, we're starting with time. Oh my god.
Time. Interesting.
So do you hate like waking up in the morning? You have to like go into the dark, or you're waking up to the sun. Which one do you prefer the most?
I mean, I'm particularly a morning person, so
I can agree with that too. I'm a morning person.
As you can see, like we're currently in my room right now. All of my room is blacked out, so no sunlight gets in here. I hate being woken up by sunlight. Usually I just wake up with an alarm. I fucking hate the sun.
To picture my room, it's something like this, but my bed is like almost near the door. So picture it's a square, so the door could be right here. My bed's like somewhere right here between the middle of it.
You put your bed in the middle of your room?
Not in the middle of the room. It's like close to the wall.
I heard that like men that put their bed in the middle of the room got their shit together, and men that put their bed in the corner don't got their shit together. It's like, listen, sometimes I want to sleep and not fall off my fucking bed. That's why I put it in the corner. I don't fall off of
it. Bro, I don't know why, but I like it to the corner because you got something to protect you. You got something to lay on.
Yeah, like you get it.
But why do you want to put it in the middle? Like, because people like separation.
I mean, I guess it's like for aesthetic purposes. Like it looks like you're more put together when You have your bed in the center.
I feel like it takes a lot of space.
It does take a lot of fucking space. But then you got like awkward amounts, like on each side of the bed.
Yeah, like you got furniture you got to put
That's
in.
what I'm saying. Like with the cord, I got more space to work with.
So it's always good.
Talking about time, I've always been a morning. Like I don't like going out at night. I don't, cause I feel like at night is when like all the hood rats and hooligans come out to play. And, like all just bad shit happens at night. Like no bad shit happens in the morning. Everyone's too tired to do some fuck shit.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Why does everything happen at night? Even like
it's cause in this day and age, a lot of people they don't like waking up early. You know.
Because I feel like I know because there's stories that talk about like first it was dark, then light began somehow with the explosion.
Talking about the Big Bang.
Yeah.
I mean, think about the Big Bang. What do you believe happened when it comes to the Big Bang?
God ran his nutsack into the fucking universe and bam, created it.
I mean, it's because I know you're Christian, right? So you believe God had a hand in the Big Bang?
Well, I kind of think of like elements in space too, because there's a lot of chemicals and things that you can react with and make gas and types of science stuff.
Nah, don't.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of. I want to wonder if it is cold out in space, but I don't believe that.
You want to go out in space and go find out? I mean, you can go with SpaceX and hop on a fucking rocket and go see for yourself, but I'm pretty sure you won't make it back.
Gravity too. I want to know what gravity feels like. Just like.
Boy, you're feeling gravity right now, Chief.
Zero gravity.
Specify.
Be able to fly.
There's places where you can go that takes you up into like the stratosphere where you can experience zero gravity. There's companies that do that.
I want to try skydiving.
I want to go skydiving so bad. I want to go skydiving, base jumping, hang gliding. I want to do it all.
There's a lot of things I want to do too.
We're getting so off topic right now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still about time. But I'm a morning person as well. I love the morning. The sun usually don't hit my window. It's mostly during the night is when you see it.
So how is the sun at nighttime hitting your window?
Because it's like towards the west.
Dev also smoked before we started this, so Dev's high as fuck right now, and it's not making no sense. Because you just said the sun, which is out in the daytime.
No, I'm talking about my place. I'm back in New Mexico. How
the sun hits your room at night?
Yes, like when the sun's going down.
Okay, you gotta specify that. Sunset, cabrón. You gotta say sunset. When you say at nighttime, the moon's out. The moon is out at nighttime.
Also,
and occasionally
man, sometimes I look out at night too during my place. Sometimes you see the stars, sometimes you see black, and just the moon itself, or nothing at all.
You think the moon's made out of cheese?
No. The whole damn rock is what I think it is.
Nah, because I remember a couple of years back, there was like this big ass conspiracy theory where the moon was made out of cheese. people swore to God that the moon was made out of cheese.
You know what I would believe? In time, I think everything will be gone, but you will not see a single footstep of a person, just probably on the moon.
Well, that's because the moon has no atmosphere. So
I think that will be like the final footstep of
the moon has no wind either. So there's nothing to like wash away the footsteps. So like I think all the tracks are still there and shit.
Or unless the air blows up.
And it doesn't rain or anything like that. But like the thing that's crazy is that like in a couple thousand years, if the human race survives that long, Mother Nature is gonna
finds ways to be dangerous.
Yeah, Mother Nature's gonna reclaim the planet either way because we need the planet, not the other way around.
Literally, one person's just taking over.
Like,
it's more human over here than more Earth.
Yeah, like actually, we have a problem with our population. If you didn't know that, we're actually declining in population because it's starting to get too expensive to have children. So, are you part of Gen Z? What year were you born?
Born in the 3 digits of 0.
You're born in 2000. Oh yeah, you're Gen Z. So, Gen Z is stopping having kids because it's getting too expensive because inflation's fucking us right now. So we actually have a problem with our population. So if population continues to decline and the human race is done, it's only going to take like a couple hundred years for Mother Nature to reclaim the planet, which is so wild to me because for as much as like we use the planet and how much we say, oh, take care of the planet and stuff like that,
Yeah,
the
we
planet
destroy
doesn't need
it.
us to take care of it. Like
It
the
take cares
planet,
of
yeah,
itself, but
literally, the planet just needs us to fuck off. Which I guess why they're you know really focused on space exploration, trying to find like the next exoplanet. Exoplanets are planets that are similar in
similar habitat.
yeah, for humans. But there was a theory that I wanted to share with you that the reason why Mars is the way that it is because that's where humans originated from, and the quote unquote meteor that destroyed the dinosaurs was Adam and Eve, and that's why they killed the dinosaurs. That's where they come from. And that's why you see uh, the hieroglyphs everywhere, like in the Middle East and Africa, you know, on the pyramids and stuff. Like those were the humans from planet Mars, but we fucked that planet up and came to Earth, and now we're fucking that shit up. So we're trying to see if we can rehabilitize Mars.
I really want to go through the pyramid, see what secrets they're hiding in there, man.
I mean, if I could have one wish, right? My one wish would be for everyone on the planet to be able to fluently speak, read, and write every language that was, is, and will be. I feel like with that amount of knowledge, with all the lost languages from before us, we'd be able to uncover more history about the human race because a lot of human history has not been recorded. Or if it was recorded, it's recorded in a lost language.
Mm.
So if we had the ability to know those languages, I feel like it would open up the fucking floodgates. And with that being said, we could actually know what the hieroglyphs say on the pyramids as well. And I didn't know this, but you could actually go into the pyramids.
That's what I want to see.
You could go inside. Well, you can't go inside completely. You can go inside like certain parts of the pyramid because it's still a resting place for pharaohs and stuff. But you can actually go into certain places. But like, I wanna see how they were built and why.
Because those are some pretty big stones.
I mean, because the thing is, like historians looked into it and like the logic doesn't make sense. It's like they were heavy as fuck and like they carbon dated the stuff right, but the technology shouldn't have existed. So everyone's trying to like make sense of how it was built. So like maybe it was humans from Mars that helped build the pyramids. Maybe there were two sets of the human races, or maybe it was just aliens.
I still believe in aliens, bro, because
Believe in
this can't be
aliens?
us, man. There's
I
got to
mean,
be some unsolved stuff.
I mean, the universe is too big for there not to be aliens. Um,
I feel like we're the least knowledge person to actually.
Not because the the way where we're positioned, like our solar system. Fun fact: our solar system doesn't have a name. Our solar system. I don't know if you've seen like a picture of the Milky Way galaxy. There's a black hole in the center, and there's a bunch of spirals. We are on the edge of one of those spirals. So like we're on the outskirts of the galaxy. So I seen this interview with Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's like the go-to man for like stuff about space. He he said there's like three reasons why we haven't found aliens. One of the main reasons was maybe we are actually the only ones in this like spiral of the galaxy. Maybe there's people you know, on the other corners, but we're all just separated. That could be one. The second one, it could be there could have been advanced civilizations that have mastered space travel, but they don't deem us as intelligent enough in order to interact with us. So they maybe see us humans as how humans see cattle. They think that they're above us and therefore do not need to treat us as equals.
I kind of have like a little theory about that. Do you think you could walk into someone that has that technology, but you just don't know?
Like, are you trying to say that like we have aliens like among us?
Yeah, like Among Us, but just hidden.
I mean, if there is, I want to know the reason why they haven't come forward yet. I know one of the main reasons is because of causing mass panic to the planet. But the thing is, my most primary question would be, why the fuck are you hiding? And what are you hiding from, or who? Because if you're hiding on our planet and someone's looking for you, and they got technology more advanced than us, what does that mean for us?
It's a domination of a planet.
I mean, the thing is, right?
In movies, they make it look like they're the enemy in the end. Somehow, I don't know how the fuck we win the war.
Yeah, exactly. If the thing is, right, if we were to get contacted by another civilization, the amount of panic that would ensue the planet, because if they're able to master space travel, we have to assume that they're already leagues ahead of us in terms of technology.
Probably years.
Years, no,
Decades.
Centuries, millennia ahead, because we're not even considered a level 1 solar system. Do you know about the levels of the solar systems?
Nope.
So there's a system. There's 4 levels. It's based on how much a civilization can take advantage of the power and energy output by the stuff in their solar system. So we haven't even harnessed the power of the sun yet. We're barely at level 1. We're getting there eventually with solar power.
They keep moving to like new technology. They want to learn about one thing and they move on to another, and they want to learn.
And I think a level 4 civilization takes control of their primary star. So how we have the sun.
Mm-hmm.
There's a theoretical device called a Dyson sphere. It's basically this machine that you put around your star in order to harness its energy completely, and that way you can do long-term space travel and stuff like that, and travel through wormholes. Wormholes scare the fuck out of me.
I got one thing too. Do you think black holes are like gateways to different realities, or do you think they're just?
I do feel like different realities do exist.
Because there was a theory that I've seen on the internet with a person saying they scope not really scope through the whole area of the solar system, but there's only a black gap in the middle of the space, and saying that's like a cold spot.
Oh, okay. I know what you mean. It's just no star in that area. It's just blank space.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's blank space everywhere. There's blank space everywhere. The thing I really want to see is I want to see what another star looks like, because we don't have another close-up picture of a star.
We only have computer versions.
Yeah, we have computer generated. There was a picture of a black hole a couple years back. I don't know if you saw that, but it was the first HD photo of a black hole. And sometime after that, they released what a black hole sounds like as well. And talking about black holes, I don't feel like it's a portal to another reality. I feel like it's.
Or do you think it messes with time?
I feel like black holes are just a rip in space that allows you to essentially just fucking drop into another spot. So if you were to take a piece of paper, right, and fold it into a C, and you take a pencil and you stab through it, going from the top down, that's what the black hole is, the pencil. And that's what allows people to quote unquote space travel. The same thing with wormholes as well. But I feel I don't know, what is the difference between a black hole and a wormhole?
Damn, it's kind of. Yeah, you gotta really think about it too. Is
because the thing is though, right?
A black hole's made of a sun, right? Once it explodes, it starts to.
Yeah. So think about it like this: when a star dies, it does a nova, then a supernova, and then it collapses on itself. And then once it collapses on itself, that's where the black hole comes from. And then that sucks in everything around it for who knows how long. And then it again collapses on itself, explodes again, and all the matter either it just gets spread out to space or you know just condenses again to make new planets, new stars, and stuff like that.
Do you think that actually has a name instead of people saying it's a black hole? Do you think it actually has a name?
We just gave it a name based on what it looks like.
Yeah.
But if there's another term for it that we don't know about, that must be other civilizations, if there are any, that know about that. But I read that if there's no life in our galaxy besides us, I think the Andromeda galaxy, which is like the closest galaxy to us, would be like the prime galaxy that would somehow have.
So we are prime, like you're saying. So we are like the prime universe.
Well, I say prime as in like this is the only reality that we know of. Like we haven't come up with the technology, if there ever will be the technology, to even go to other realities if there are any. Because once again, this is all theoretical. Like, I'm going based off of. I'm going based off of like what we have in popular culture. Like none of this has been created. I don't even know if it will be created.
You gotta have a good brain to fucking think this out for technology, man. Because you gotta figure out the level and like what is
it's so much math and so much theoretics that go into it that I guess a lot of people just don't want to put the time into it.
Like think of it, you have to like go through many tries to get it right to actually.
And again, it's gonna take years, if not hundreds of years.
And if you finally master it, no one's probably gonna be like, oh, no one's gonna care if you're gonna keep working on it, even if you try to master it.
Because the same thing goes for time travel. Like it's been super popular in pop culture, but the thing about time travel is like if you really look into it, it's gonna be much more involved than what people originally think. Because say time travel was invented, right? What would be the laws behind it? Like, what guarantee do we have that if we go back in time and change something, like
that,
if it'll
I'm
happen?
probably thinking that reality becomes you, but our reality is gone.
Yeah, like the same thing with teleportation. I read that teleportation, right? It dematerializes you in one place, but rematerializes the same particles in a different place with like the same memories and same things. But who's to say that that's still the same person from before you originally teleported? Or is it just like a clone? So like, do you die and a clone of yours with the same
same memories,
the same memories, same genetic makeup as yours is still the same person from before? That's why I kind of just don't like teleportation as well, because like think about it. There's a lot of logic and a lot of like repercussions that go into stuff like that that a lot of people don't take into consideration.
They just want to like, oh, I want to make this and see what I could do back in time. Yeah, but you got to think about it too, because if you break something in time is gonna fucking come back at you and.
Yeah, like if you were to go back in time, who's to say another reality won't form? Like, if you were to look at the Avengers, right? Like they did the whole time travel thing. Like, who's to say a new reality won't be formed, or your original timeline would cease to exist or be altered completely, and stuff like that. So I feel like if time travel is ever invented, it would have to be destroyed. And people are gonna be like, oh, but what about like all the good you can do with it? It's like you're gonna do more harm than good with time travel. And the thing about time travel is people forget the planet moves as well. So if you're taken back in time,
you're like basically rotating it back.
You have to know the exact position where the planet is on that date. Because if you transport back in time, you could be slingshot into space, or fucking dead, because you might spawn in like in between like a building or like in the woods in a tree. Like there's a lot of calculations that go into it.
Portal. Shit. I don't think I believe in like portal travel, but I don't think it could be possible to actually
I
go
mean,
to like different places.
I mean, when you say portal, right? We all know what a portal, quote unquote, looks like. It's a big fucking ring, and then it just takes you somewhere, right? But like, what is inside the portal? Is it a wormhole? Is it a black hole? Like, what is it that the portal has that allows you to travel?
Man. Just like I believe it's not it's like an exclamation you gotta think of because it's really you gotta really solve this out if you go through a portal. It could be a black hole, it could be anything, man. And if you
The
just
thing
walk
is
through
like, if we were to create portals, like, where would like what would be like the requirements? Like, is it gonna be free? Are we gonna pay
like
for
what
it?
is the logic behind it? Do you have like walls between
Because
those
the thing is
realities?
about any of these new forms of travel. Obviously, there's gonna be people that try to capitalize on it, right? So same thing like with like the first car that came out, or like the first plane. And like it's gonna be ridiculously expensive when it first like releases. It's only gonna be reserved either for government officials or the elite. So I feel like even if it's first released, we're not gonna see any of it until like it becomes widely available. Like if teleportation becomes a thing, it's gonna pretty much make everything else obsolete. Everything, bikes, skateboards, walking, driving, flying, everything's gonna become obsolete.
Do you think teleportation and portal are the same, or do you think they're different from
I
each other?
mean,
Because I feel like they're the same because you're going back.
I mean, the thing is though, like I'm gonna answer your question with a question, right? Let's say that becomes widely available. How would they go about it? Are there gonna be like train stations where you go and there's a bunch of portals that go to different destinations, or is it gonna be like an airport, or can you just have it in home?
I mean, it could be anywhere. I mean, you could just fuck man.
Or
Like,
can you, or is it just like a device that you have, like a phone? You'd be like, oh, just teleport me to the grocery store and stuff like that. Because you gotta ask like the questions of how are we gonna make this available to everybody? Because we all know it's gonna be originally given to governments and the elites.
yeah, they're gonna take everything. They want to like take control over like oh they made it first, but yet there's one person that
I
fucking
feel
made it.
like the thing is, I feel like technology like that will never exist because the human race generally is extremely greedy, and it's basically just a race. And I feel like that's gonna start a war. Like depending on what country comes up with it first, it's gonna start. They're gonna say, oh, we want that tech, and another country's gonna be like, oh no, we're not gonna give you that tech. Then the original country's gonna be like, well, I'm gonna invade you and take it by force. Then they're gonna call their allies, and both sides are gonna call their allies, and then boom, World War III, boom, boom, races that.
Mm. I got a very important question just to say. This is not part of like the questions I wanted to ask.
What's up?
What did you think of Modern Warfare 2?
You want to go from space to Modern Warfare 2?
Yeah, this is completely out of the question.
You want to
put
take
this as a clip
you want
right
to take,
here.
you want to take this random tangent?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a tangent here. The video game scene in and of itself is absolutely an utter garbage right now. It's watered down, and you either get an FPS, an open world, a battle royale, or a mix of all three. Within the last 5, 6 years, those are all the games that have been coming out. It's either a first-person shooter, it's either a battle royale, or some generic open world game. All right. For example, Modern Warfare 2. What is it? It's a first-person shooter. It has an open world battle royale. It takes all three. The Far Cry series. What is it? It's an open world first-person shooter. Yeah. I mean, it's just like
the same thing over and over.
It's the same
just
thing.
Copy and paste.
It's literally the same games, just written in different fonts. That's the best way I can put it. Granted, there have been some exceptions, like the God of War series.
I love that. I fucking love it. I want to get Ragnarok.
God of War, again, it's a semi-open world.
Yeah, but you're dealing with Greek mythology.
Well, not Greek, it's Norse right now.
Spartan, yeah.
And, things like the Uncharted series as well. I like linear stories, linear games that tell a story instead of just, here's this big-ass sandbox, go collect a bunch of shit that has nothing to do with the game, or nothing that rewards you with something, decent. Like back in the day, with collectibles and open world games back then, it was worth it, but now it's just, oh, you just get an achievement and some random piece of shit armor or gear that just is complete garbage, you know. Something that, I really liked was in the Assassin's Creed games, which is my favorite video game series. Like throughout the video games, what I liked about them is that their collectibles were worth it. Like you would get this OP set of armor that gives you like fucking unbelievable stats, and that's worth taking the extra time to do all the collectibles, because it's a reward that's worth, grinding for.
Getting skins, because I remember that in Assassin's Creed, you do these challenges to get these tasks done.
Exactly.
And you collect these rewards, and boom, you can go make your armor.
And it took actual
time.
It took time and it took actual skill. But like with stuff, like Modern Warfare 2.
I'll take Assassin's Creed. You learn more with your skill on fighting.
Exactly. But for stuff that's like a mindless shooter, like Modern Warfare 2, all you gotta do is run a certain gun that hasn't been patched with certain attachments, be in a certain map on a certain place, shoot a certain direction, and you can literally be carried all the way to the end camo. It doesn't take skill. You know what I mean? It just takes luck.
I can say that with Warzone. Warzone is just a piece.
That's primarily why I never got into Warzone, because the thing about Warzone is
they actually shut down the servers.
For the original one, right? The thing, like, I played Warzone, the original Warzone, when it first came out, and all people did was run around with riot shields and did fuck all. And meanwhile, here's me who grew up playing Modern Warfare 2 and 3, the originals.
Damn badass games.
Trying to, have fun, essentially. But it's the fucking TTV streamers with fucking 120 hertz running god tier FPS, playing on keyboard and mouse with mods and aimbot. And meanwhile, I'm just sitting here on the couch just trying to have a good time. And I feel like the cheaters and the hackers just made it
fucking
not
worse.
fun. And I hate that.
I like Warzone when it wasn't a pre-game level, when everything was just fresh, and yet after a year later, everything started getting all fucking havoc.
Yeah, with Modern Warfare, I wish they did more for the story than they did the multiplayer, because the multiplayer is mainly focused on microtransactions, cool skins and gun camos and stuff like that. But like their campaign is only like 3-4 hours long, right? My favorite video game of all time is Red Dead Redemption 2. It took me 60 hours to complete that campaign, right?
Multiple stories too.
I played that game once,
and I fucking loved it.
It took me 60 hours, right? That game was the most beautiful game I've ever played. I played on a PS4, a base PS4, not even a PS4 Pro, nothing. I played on a base PS4, and during quarantine, it took me 60 hours. It was the most beautiful game.
That was the game that knocked down Call of Duty.
It was heart-wrenching. The interactions with the NPCs was amazing. The open world was not watered down and empty. There was a lot to do, and I wanted to do everything.
But there was so much.
But there was so much that even after beating the main story. I stuck around and still played like the side missions and the encounters and the secrets and stuff like that because the world wasn't watered down. And I feel like with Modern Warfare,
you already get to experience the whole thing. As soon as you get like a couple months in, you already know the whole map.
Like, if I can beat the Modern Warfare campaign in a day, there's an issue there. I feel like you should be able, at minimum, 8 hours, minimum. I mean, we can take a look at my Steam catalog right now. I play on PC. It like the minimum I've played games for that it took me to be is minimum 10 hours, and that's just story. But the thing about RDR2 is just that it was one of those games where you can tell they really cared about the story and the characters.
Well, I think after GTA 5 got more popular, they kind of loosened down Red Dead 2 and they wanted to continue GTA 5.
The thing about RDR2 is that
it's already beautiful enough.
The online version for Red Dead didn't get the same love as the story of RDR2 and the same love as GTA Online. Because I mean,
Grand Theft Auto, you're still playing the damn story. You got a lot of shit to do.
The thing is, I like GTA Online more than the GTA story, but I like the RDR story more than Red Dead Online. Because there's more focused on the money, right? Rockstar. GTA Online brought in way more money than Red Dead Online. You know, so GTA has a bunch more content than Red Dead did, and that's why Red Dead Online is sort of quite literally dead. You know, there's pretty much like no support for it whatsoever because they're only focused on making money. You know, they focus so much on the campaign because the original Red Dead Redemption was held in extremely high regard. It's regarded as one of the best games of all time. And even Red Dead Redemption 2 is considered one of the best games of all time. It won Game of the Year, I think, the year it came out. Because you could...
How beautiful it was the cutscenes, and
Let me tell you something about Red Dead Redemption 2. I have never cried so much during a video game as Red Dead Redemption 2. I was so upset at Arthur Morgan's death. I don't give a fuck if people say spoiler warning. The game came out in what, 2020? It's been 2 years since the game released. Play the fucking game. Shit is beautiful. The story, the characters, the downfall, the madness, the character development.
Do you actually know the 3 stories of John Marston's? Like his endings? Like the bad ending, like the honor ending, and...
I know the way the story's supposed to. Like, the canon ending is the good ending, you know? It's just, the one thing that kind of just stops my suspension of disbelief is the fact that some characters aren't mentioned in Red Dead Redemption, but obviously those characters weren't thought of at the time. You know, it was only, like, the main members of the gang and not really, like, the side characters, you know, like the prostitutes and stuff like that. Which I really think is cool. There was a theory that I saw about the Red Dead Redemption games in which Jack Marston is not John's son, he's actually Javier Escuela's son. Because if you remember the
story,
if you remember the end of Red Dead Redemption, the original, you play as Jack grown up. And if you see Jack grown up, he looks exactly like Javier Escuela did in Red Dead Redemption 2. So, if you play Red Dead Redemption 2, you can actually like find secrets that say that John didn't think Jack was his son.
Yeah, I know
because, that. Because Abigail was actually a prostitute when John brought... No, it wasn't John, it was Uncle that brought her into the game. So people are saying that Abigail was sleeping around before she married John, and Jack is actually Javier's son. Which is kind of cool to think about. If there is going to be another Red Dead game, I don't know if you knew this, There's actually 3 Red Dead games.
Yeah, Red Dead Revolver.
Yes. I'm surprised you actually know about it. Not a lot of people know about Red Dead Revolver.
I know, dude. I remember that. They actually brought the skins back to Red Dead Redemption.
There is, I forget whether it's in Red Dead Redemption or RDR2, you could actually find Red's house in one of the games. I forgot which one it's from, but you could actually find it.
Damn, bro. Red Dead Revolver, man.
Which is pretty cool. I've never played it, but I know like the gist of the story, which is pretty cool.
I played it before. It's kind of similar to Red Dead, but you know how the PlayStation 2 vibes were. Yeah. It's kind of a little chunky of how the FPS.
But it's PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean,
but they come a long way from Red Dead Revolver to Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation 3, then go to Red Dead 2 on the PlayStation 4. Holy shit, man.
I mean, I feel like no game for me is gonna be Red Dead Redemption 2. Like,
I would say God of War and Red Dead are at my top of the list.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 is my favorite game of all time. But my favorite franchise of video games is the Assassin's Creed games. So, like, they're neck and neck. Like, if I'm talking about a singular game, it's RDR2. But if I'm talking, like, overarching storyline, obviously Assassin's Creed. I got fucking Nolan North's autograph on my fucking wall, which is pretty fucking sick.
Beautiful. He got the Kenways. And
primarily
Altair and
literally
Ezio.
I mean, he didn't voice Haytham Kenway, I don't think, but he voiced Connor. Wait, he voiced Connor, Ezio, Altair, Desmond, and Edward. I think those were all the things. And another character in what is it called? Valhalla.
Nolan North. I love seeing your name in fucking Rick and Morty. I love seeing the name at the end of the
thing. He plays a character in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he. I think he does play as a character in Rick and Morty, but I don't know what character.
Okay. Well, in terms of video games, I don't know. I'm currently not playing any new video games. I don't like the video game scene currently, and I just. Oh, I also failed to mention that like in second place with RDR2 and the Assassin's Creed games would have to be Spider-Man. The one Marvel Spider-Man.
I played that around. Have you tried the Desmond Niles? Desmond Morales. Niles Morales?
Yes. I have played it. I do think the original Spider-Man's story is better, but the character for Miles handles better, if that makes sense. Like, he controls better than Peter does, but Peter's story was more impactful to me than Miles was. Like, I'm very excited for that. As well as DBZ Kakarot was also a very, very good game for me. Those games, like, really are in, like, my top 3. Like, for the current generation of games. But as for what I'm playing now, I'm going back and replaying a bunch of games from my childhood.
You know what I want to play? I want to play some old Game Boy games, bro.
I have a Game Boy.
I have a Game Boy as well, too. You know what I miss playing is the Super Mario Bros.
I have it. I have it. I have my Game Boy.
Oh, I'm gonna cry.
I have it. You can play it if you want.
Not right now. We're in the middle of this.
I'll tell you the story about that Game Boy. So, growing up, I actually didn't play a lot of video games. I watched my older brother Michael play video games because I was too young to either take care of it or I just didn't know how to play. So, I played my games through him in a sense. So, my older brother Michael, he had it all. He had the PS2 when it came out, PS4. My cousin Victor had the PS3. Michael had the Xbox 360, PS2, Game Boy. He had 2 Game Boys. He had the Game Boy Advance SP, which was the square one that flips up.
I have that one.
That's what I have. And then he had the Game Boy.
What color is yours?
Mine's black.
I have a silver.
And then he had not the original Game Boy. It was the Game Boy Advance, the one that was horizontal, that was like see-through.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's like those weird hexagon ones.
Yeah, he had one of those, and then he had a DS as well. He had a lot of fucking consoles. So I primarily watched.
Do you remember when the hexagon ones you actually have to put a light on just to see? I have that one still.
Oh fuck, he had a GameCube as well and an N64. Yo, Michael, you had a lot of fucking consoles, my guy. Jesus Christ. He listens to this podcast. So, Michael, if you're listening.
Well, that work?
Nah, he listens. My older brother's name is Michael. He listens to this podcast while he's at work. So, Michael, you're an asshole for never letting me play with you, piece of shit. yeah, fuck you. So, I primarily watched, like, him play video games, and I just fell in love with it. Like, one of the games that I remember like first playing with him was on a PS2 with GoldenEye. That motherfucker would scream peek me all the fucking time. I got as well as when we back then the Call of Duty games had split screen co-op. Let me tell you, we put split screen co-op with bots with mixed difficulty because a lot of times we didn't have internet, so we put mixed bots and stuff, and just played like stuff like Infected and Michael Myers, Team Deathmatch and Gun Game. But that PC, a lot of the times we would do quickscope battles on Rust, on Modern Warfare 2, Dome, and Modern Warfare 3.
What was your favorite sniper in Modern Warfare 3?
You know what I'm gonna say. Fucking Intervention. Come on. You know it. And I was an asshole too because I put the heartbeat sensor like a dickhead. But the thing was though is that it made no sense because Michael always fucking screen peeked me. That piece of shit.
Mine was the MSR. That one was my fast one I always loved.
It's like I always like the thing was, right, whenever we did the quickscope battles, you know how at the end of the game it does like the final kill cam. But the final kill cam was always in slow-mo. So we would always fight about who won because it was in slow-mo. So obviously, you know, the quick scope looked like a hard scope. I'm like, no, you didn't win because you hard scoped. Like, no, I didn't hard scope. I was fucking quick scoping. It's just like
a cutscene.
Yeah, so we just got really heated. I mean, and then another thing that he played that really caught my eye was this game called Just Cause. I don't know if you know about it.
I do.
So we did, he never really played full, like he only played like FPS for full games, but he used to play the Just Cause demo. I don't know if you remember like that era of
everything was just free and you only get to play like part of
like a mission or two. So he would play Just Cause 2. It's the second game in the series. There's 4 of them now. So the demo would last 30 minutes. And I would sit there and I would watch that motherfucker play that shit over and over and over again. To the point where when I was older, I ended up buying the full game. Because I just loved it so much, watching that motherfucker swing around with a grappling hook and a parachute. That shit was elite to me. And, you know, eventually he got the Xbox. He had 2 Xboxes. He had the Xbox 360, the original one, in white. Then he had the Xbox 360 Kinect, the one with the camera, in black. Let me tell you, when that 360 Kinect, when he got that shit, it came with a free game called Kinect Adventures, where, you know, you would use the camera to fucking play. Let me tell you, we were fucking crazy on that game. There was another game as well that had dancing. We would play that shit too all the fucking time. We fucking played that shit religiously. We just never bought new games. We just played a bunch of fucking demos. And that shit was an amazing time. Like, we get into a lot of fights, even now.
I remember that with games as well, too, because I remember back home, you would be playing over and over, even though we had, like, 4 controllers. Damn, so we always split screening the whole time.
You ever rage on a video game?
Yeah, I have before. Due to zombies, man.
Let me tell you something about zombies. My cousin Victor, right, had a PS3. The thing, he got a PS3 because he was smart. Back then, the PS3, even now, PS3 doesn't require PS Plus to play online. That wasn't introduced to the PlayStation 4. So he would play the original Black Ops online. He would play multiplayer and he played zombies. The amount of rage that poor bastard got when he would play was fucking horrendous. So he would play. He at the time where we lived, he was on the bottom floor in this small room behind the kitchen. That's where he set up his PS3.
Mm-hmm.
All you could hear is that poor bastard just screaming and yelling at the game. He was just great. He broke 2 controllers out of rage.
I would never do that. Even though I had a controller, I'm like, ugh. I fucking get pissed off of it.
I can say with full confidence, I've never broken a controller out of rage. I can't speak for my cousin Victor or my stepbrother Jody, but yeah.
I never broken a controller.
I've never broken one because a lot of the times, back then, even still now, controllers are fucking expensive.
Like $60 to $70 to $100.
That controller you're holding, it's a PS5 controller, it's in purple. I got that controller for $65. $65, just the controller. It didn't even come with a charge cable. It's just the controller cost me $65. I also have the Xbox Series X controller as well.
Where's that at?
It's in my drawer. That cost me $100.
So you just break out these controllers so you can, whenever you're someone comes by, you can just...
I originally got, because since I play on PC, right, I'm not comfortable playing with keyboard and mouse.
I like how this feels, though.
Yeah, it feels pretty nice, right? So I had originally gotten the Xbox Series X controller. I got it in this pretty-ass green color. This shit's fucking beautiful, right? I got it because I have a Windows PC, and Windows comes automatically integrated with Xbox because Microsoft is owned by Windows. So the connectivity was blessed, right? The thing was, though, is that the controller had issues connecting to my PC. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just get a P5 controller. I had a PS4 controller, but, you know, it was 4 years old, so it developed stick drift. And so I had to get the PS5 controller. And I should have gotten the PS5 controller originally because it's bigger. Like, I have pretty, like, thick fingers. So it feels better in the hand, and you know, no connectivity issues, and it's just smoother all around. Thing is, though, I have to use a third-party program in order to use it.
I know that part. I mean, I don't have a PlayStation 5, but I know the whole compliments of it.
What console you play on?
I play PlayStation 4. I have the Xbox 360, so I prefer both consoles and PC as well. So if someone tries to fight with me about console war, fuck you, I'm going against both of them.
You ever play a Wii?
That was some... That shit kept me in fit.
I mean, I never personally owned a Wii. My younger brother, Ivan, he had a Wii U.
Oh, that was different.
The Wii U is the console that came out with... Like, the Wii U walked so the Nintendo Switch could run, right? The thing about the Wii U that was so ahead of its time was the fact that the controller was also a console in and of itself, which was it blew my fucking mind. So it was 2013, right? I was hard pressed because I wanted the Wii U. I also wanted the Xbox One, but I also wanted the PS4. I got the best of 3 worlds because I got the Xbox One. My brother got the Wii U, and my older brother got the PlayStation 4. I had all 3 fucking consoles in my house. I was living the fucking dream. The thing about the Wii U, right? The Wii U didn't have a lot of games for it, which was pretty shitty.
It was depressing.
It was pretty shitty. Although the Zelda games on the Wii U, the Wind Waker, I played the fuck out the Wind Waker. Like the remake of the game that came out with Wii, I played the fuck out of the Wind Waker. Because my younger brother Ivan, he got the bundle. He got like the Zelda themed Wii U that came with Wind Waker, and I played the fuck out of it. And my Xbox One that I got the first Xbox One that came out, like the big block bitch, right? The Xbox was one of the Xbox One was the first console that had Roblox, so we would switch consoles. So he would play Roblox on my Xbox, and I played the Wind Waker. He ended up breaking his Wii U. Then he got my cousin's Wii U. Then broke my cousin's Wii U. and then got a PS4. But I had Roblox. He's still a Roblox fanatic. Roblox got every kid in the chocolate. So
I don't know how you can play that, bro. Roblox is just
my girlfriend plays Roblox.
I would. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say Roblox is just like an off-brand of Minecraft, but you're just like sandbox.
No.
Gmod.
You can do a lot more with Roblox than you can with
part of Gmod too.
Fuck Gmod. I hate that shit. I don't even talk about it. But the funny thing is, right? He wanted to switch consoles because I was getting at this point in time. Black Ops 3 was out, right? And everyone was playing it, and he got the Black Ops 3 bundle. So he got like the PS4 that came with a free copy of Black Ops 3, but he didn't really like it, but he wanted to play Roblox.
Oh my god.
So he came to me and was like, Angel, can I have your Xbox? And I said, well, can I have the PlayStation? And he was like, yeah. Mind you, he was like 9 years old at the time. And so that same PlayStation is underneath my dresser right now.
You're not playing it?
Nah, I don't have a PlayStation controller. I don't have a P4 controller. That's a P5.
You want to take one of mine? Because I don't really use one.
I mean, the thing is, I don't even have PS Plus. It wouldn't even be worth it because I have all my games on Steam.
True.
So it makes no sense. So we switch. I go to my mom. I'm like, Mom, Ivan wants to switch consoles. Is that okay? She goes, I don't know the fuck. So we switch consoles, right? I make him an account on the Xbox, and I take the PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, I've been a PlayStation fanboy. Until 2 years ago, I switched over to PC.
So the first game I started on was a Game Boy. Then my second was a PlayStation 2. Then after that, I grew on to the Xbox 360, and I moved on to the PlayStation 4. From that, I got to play a little of the PlayStation 3, and the Xbox One, and the PlayStation 4. I haven't got to play the PlayStation 5 yet, and the new Xbox, but maybe soon. But I have a friend that has both consoles already. I'm like, bro, what the hell?
If I had to go through all of the consoles that I've had, so obviously I've had PC, PS4, I've played PS3, my brother had a PS2, I've played the Wii U, the Nintendo Switch, a PSP. Fuck, the PSP was so ahead of its fucking time. I wish the PSP had more support. I actually want to buy a PSP. There's a lot of games.
Imagine that, dude.
PSPs are still expensive. PSPs go for like $200-$300 still, which is insane. Even like the first generation PSPs, they're still hella expensive.
I have a cousin that just lets that sit around, and I think it's just sitting in a drawer. I'm like,
the thing is that like the PSP, like the first like set of PSPs that came out were so elite that everything after that was just fucking garbage. Like the PSP Go, I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
That shit was ass. The PS Vita tried to redeem itself, but again, the PS Vita didn't have any support for it, so it's up in the air. What PS Vita does have is screen share, so you can like stream games from your PlayStation to your PS Vita and play them like that, which is pretty sick. But you know, I feel like there's a bunch of consoles that, you know, didn't get the love that they deserve. Like a Sega Genesis though, fuck that Sega Genesis. That shit is garbage. The GameCube ahead of its time, PS2 ahead of its time, PSP ahead of everything was ahead of its time. And I feel like if those were released today, I feel like they'd get more love.
Yep.
They'd get way more love.
I miss retro games, man, where you just...
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm primarily playing retro games. Like that's why I got the Game Boy to play like all the original Pokemon games and stuff like that. And I got this cartridge that brings like 300 games for the Game Boy all in one.
Wow.
Yeah, I got it on Amazon for like $20. Sick.
My dad had a friend where I guess he jailbroke the Wii.
I had a friend that jailbroke my PSP, and it was the worst thing. Actually, I got this funny story about my PSP. So when I got my PSP, PSP's memory sticks were like a special memory stick that's made specifically for the PSP. They can't take like normal micro SD cards.
Yeah.
I had an 8 gigabyte memory card. Back then, 8 gigabyte memory card for a small ass PSP.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. So back then I had this neighbor named Jordan. Fuck you, Jordan, for doing this. if you ever see this or hear this, he had a PSP as well, and he also had a memory stick, but his was 32 megabytes instead of 8 gigabytes. I didn't know the difference. All I saw was 32, and me being a kid, I was in the second grade. I knew 32 was more than 8. So he was like, "You want to trade memory cards?" So I go ask Michael, and Michael's like, "Don't do it." I was like, "But Michael, it's megabytes." It's like, dude, 32 megabytes compared to 8 gigabytes? Like, come on, like, it makes sense. And he was like, "You're fucking stupid if you do it." And I'm like, "I'm gonna do it." So I traded memory card, and then I realized like I couldn't download shit anymore. And I was like, "Fuck," and I never got that.
So that was the worst trade of your life.
So Michael, you were right, and Jordan, go fuck yourself. But yeah, I think that's pretty much gonna do it for this episode.
Show.
Before we turn it off, I want to do my forever and always hills I die on. Dev, do you got a hill you die on?
I said it on the first part, vegans.
Hey, it's me again. Did you miss me? Yeah, I'm literally recording this right after the last clip. It's this is what I was talking about when I said Dev was gonna mention it again. Yeah, I lost that footage. But yeah. Yeah. Dev hates vegans.
No, I don't hate vegans.
Dev hates vegans.
I love plants, but
no, Dev, we know what plants you love, you pot-headed bastard. But the hill I die on is iPhones are better than Androids, and you cannot change my mind. I don't give a fuck. Apple is superior. I'm an Apple fanboy, and if you disagree, you're just broke. You're just broke. I grew up on Apple, and my kids gonna grow up on Apple, so it is what it is. With that being said, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow all of our socials. We do have an Instagram now and a TikTok now. And
we're trying to get Spotify. We're trying to get a lot of all social medias up right now.
I'm currently in the progress of getting us onto other streaming services, so that's coming soon in the next few weeks. So,
yeah, we love Apple, but fuck the streaming service.
Fucking Apple Podcast is kicking my ass right now. But yeah, thank you so much. We're about to record the second episode, so be on the lookout for that. I'm editing this one and the next one. And the next one's my episode, so you know we're about to get chaotic.
So thanks for listening to today's podcast.
All right, DNA Podcast out.